Okay, this is Super Kaiju Nation, and this is King Ghidorah month on Kaiju-tastic Nation Media. And right now, I'm going to be talking about the next King Ghidorah, which came on the third in the Rebirth of Mothra cycle of movies in 1998. All right, let's get down to business and talk about this creature. So the alternate names. Let's talk about the alternate names and all the stats of the monster. Okay, I love my grand-king Ghidorah Bandai, and also I want to get that model kit that's available. Also, okay, it's his nicknames are King of Terror, Super Dragon. Not much of a difference though, but he's on this film. He also comes from outer space because if you guys remember, God's and the original and the movie before that, King Ghidorah was actually from the future. Was engineered in the future, not from outer space, like most of the films he's been in. Okay, he's about 60 meters as the full grown one, and Cretaceous period King Ghidorah is actually 40 meters, and the wingspan on Grand King Ghidorah the adult is 80 meters, and the wingspan on Cretaceous period King Ghidorah is 50 meters. And let's talk about the weight. He's 50,000 metric tons in the adult King Ghidorah, and the Cretaceous period King Ghidorah is about 25,000 metric tons. So in this film is an interesting. So actually, it is portrayed that King Ghidorah has, of course, he's been around for a very long time, but he's the one who destroyed the dinosaurs, who caused the dinosaurs to become extinct because I guess he was eating them or destroying what he does, and that is to destroy planets and destroy life. Okay, so on this movie, he displays some characteristics that are different than other King Ghidorahs, and on this movie he shows up and he starts to take kids hostage, and he creates a strange organic, or it looks like to me anyways, an organic dome, and he kidnaps the kids, and it looks like he's going to eat them until of course Mothra is able to free the children before that happens. That's what it looks like. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I think, that he was about to eat the children because he had kept them inside the dome for a long period of the film. So yeah, all right. So the modern type of this King Ghidorah was designed by Shinji Nukishiwawa Shawa. I said that. Shinji Wukasa, and of Monsters Incorporated. The scales for the suit were produced by Ogawa Studio. Some of the paint applied to the suit were partially based on the coloration of chameleons. Nakishiwa Shawa, the modeling staff nicknamed the modern type King Ghidorah grand-king Ghidorah, and the suit was worn by actor Tatsumo Kachiwaga, and portrayed by who also portrayed Cretaceous King Ghidorah in the film, and would go on to play Godzilla and also in the Millennium films. That's pretty cool. A smaller prop for the modern King Ghidorah was created for flight scenes and aerial battles with Mothra Leo. Okay, so a separate costume was created to portray King Ghidorah's younger form. Cretaceous King Ghidorah was designed by Tashu Torisawa. An early concept art form strongly resembled the Showa King Ghidorah, but before, of course, in the final film, he looked more dinosaur-like. It's kind of like a Jurassic period King Ghidorah, because if you know that a lot of animals evolved, and a lot of the what you see life evolves. So did King Ghidorah, and the suit was modeled and the team led by Nobuhiro Kukobu, consisting of Shakiji. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at pronouncing the Japanese words. I'm actually trying to take a Japanese language class, so it's going to be cool. I can't on my spare time, because it's just way too much stuff that I'm trying to study right now with school, coming in the spring. So So the left and right necks were operated by piano wires again, while the suit actor was also placed his arms and into these necks to move them around. That's pretty cool. I mean, you kind of you knew that, of course, but it's in case those of you don't know that the actor's arms were used to move around the necks of the creature. And the modelers were strongly conscious of the weight reduction, and while creating Cretaceous King Ghidorah suit, wanted to make it possible run to jump while inside the suit. The staff nicknamed the Cretaceous King Ghidorah Young King Ghidorah. That's pretty interesting. So the design, he slightly resembles more like the Showa than the Heisei King Ghidorah, which represented, like I said in the last podcast, he looked more like a Western dragon than a Japanese or Chinese dragon of folklore. And so, okay, so let's talk about the incarnation of possesses curved horns. This incarnation in each of his heads, and he has like antlers on the tip of each of his head, small antlers on the main horns on his head. So that's pretty interesting. That resemble more like a reindeer-like horns. And King Ghidorah stands completely upright, lacks man's of fur on the sides of the heads, and some characteristics of the unique are completely more muscular, but thicker necks, taller and detailed wings. Oh, the wings are more. They're not as long or as large as the later. This new version of King Ghidorah, it's huge. It's just not. They're more sleeker in design. I don't know if you guys noticed that as well. I'm sure you. So the heads were also unique in the addition of the two horns, and so the middle of the head possesses a unique fork-like antler-like horns, like the one I just mentioned. In a younger form, Cretaceous King Ghidorah has a dull gold-colored skin. The necks are relatively short but thick and are covered in bright gold spines, while the three heads are proportionally larger than the previous designs, and keeping the other ancient monsters that appear in the film Rebirth of Mothra 3, King Ghidorah is designed to look more primitive and fierce. Yeah, so if you guys notice the difference between Grand King Ghidorah and Cretaceous period King Ghidorah, Cretaceous, obviously, Grand King Ghidorah is larger, and Young King Ghidorah, as they call it, as the studio called it, is a more prehistoric looking King Ghidorah. I know if you guys remember, there's a prehistoric Mothra larva on the film, and so this. I really like this version of King Ghidorah. I just wish he had more to do, because he spends most of the film. There's a really good battle scene with he has with Mothra Leo, but he spends most of the film just kind of, and his destruction scenes were pretty half-assed for me. To be honest, I seen better in the Showa era of King Ghidorah than I did in this film. This is probably, he's the highlight of the film because I like Mothra. I really do. But I kind of found these Rebirth of Mothra's films more aimed at young girls, young children. And even though a lot of the Godzilla movies are aimed for Showa, most of the Showa ones were aimed at children. This one was kind of, it's like for a different kind of demographic, a different market to reach. So, but he really is the highlight of the film, and so in order to defeat King Ghidorah, because King Ghidorah easily defeats Mothra Leo, Mothra has to time travel. There's time traveling in this film as well. In order to defeat him, she has to defeat Cretaceous King Ghidorah, and that's able to disrupt Grand King Ghidorah in the future, and she's able to release the children from the dome that he created, that organic-looking dome that he created. So, King Ghidorah caused the Cretaceous extinction millions of years ago, and returns to Earth to present to feed on the life forces of children. So it looks like he's going to eat children, not kind of feed on their life force, but that's what it looks like to me. I don't know. So this another interesting fact about this King Ghidorah. He seems more intelligent, more methodical than past iterations of the creature, and he's more aware of things. He He doesn't look just like a primitive killing machine like in other films. He's actually has more thought, as if you will. Okay, so King Ghidorah is an evil, ancient, giant, three-headed dragon from outer space, a powerful relative of Ghidorah. So, I mean, obviously, but in the film, it's not really. I don't really. Maybe I have to watch the film again to see that they mentioned that. So he arrived on Earth in this film in the Cretaceous period, and he wiped out the vast majority of the life, which most of it was dinosaurs and mammals. So he and to feed on the life force of children. So it's a very interesting like a story, and he has a different personality on this film. He has more of a he's more of a thinking creature on this movie, and I love the design. It's awesome. I love to see X Plus do their own version of him because I love the Bandai and I love the model kit. Okay, so let's talk about his abilities. Again, he demonstrates unique abilities not shared by previous iterations. In addition to the traditional, so flight, he has flight and the usual flight and gravity beams, as well as the anti-gravity beams. Oh my gosh, I can't stress this enough. Whenever they use them, it's devastating. So, and he has a hypnosis beam on this movie, so he's able to, you know how he controls the children on this movie, and fireballs. Cretaceous period. King Ghidorah emits fireballs from the three heads. It's pretty awesome, and also wing shockwaves that are produced by hurricane force wings. Wing shockwaves. They're able to destroy buildings, and he has durability and regeneration. He's regenerated his entire body from a severed tail that was cut up by Rainbow Mothra in the past. So it's pretty awesome, and he has like a barrier. King Ghidorah's barrier can manipulate light from projectiles to form a protective barrier, like kind of like a little bit like Mothra later. Actually, in Rebirth of Mothra, she has a lot of powers, and so King Ghidorah has like that barrier. He's able to protect himself with to keep himself from getting destroyed from Mothra on the film, and of course the dome, and he has teleportation. It's pretty awesome. He's able to teleport people or things into his dome. It's pretty awesome. I like that. Very interesting. And so Cretaceous, King Ghidorah is obviously weaker, and so yeah, it's a pretty awesome iteration of King Ghidorah. I just kind of wish they would have did more, like had a film where Godzilla faced him, Heisei Godzilla, or even Millennium Godzilla. But oh well, you can only hope. All right, okay. I hope you guys enjoyed Super Kaiju Nation podcast. This is King Ghidorah month, and up next, I will be doing the next King Ghidorah, which is another very interesting iteration of the creature because we're talking about the evolution of King Ghidorah this month. This is the evolution of King Ghidorah this month. All right. I don't know, I'm kind of hesitant on doing the anime King Ghidorah. I might do it just to do a rant podcast. All right, you guys, I'll see you guys in the next podcast. This is Super Kaiju Nation.